In this video, we're going to take a look at rate of change from tables. First, let's look at some vocabulary. Rate of change is a ratio that compares the amount of change in a dependent variable y to the amount of change in an independent variable x. Rate of change, we say, is equal to the change in the dependent variable y over the change in the independent variable x. And the rates of change for a set of data may vary or be constant. So we're going to take a look at some examples of that in just a minute. Slope. Slope is the constant rate of change of a line and is called the slope of the line. It's a measure of the steepness of the line. The steeper the line, the greater the slope, and the notation we use is m. M stands for slope. For any 2 points, the slope of the line connecting them can be determined by dividing how much the line rises vertically by how much it runs horizontally. So we say slope is equal to change in y, or the vertical change. So change in y over change in x, which is our horizontal change. And that's what we call rise over run. It's a quick, short way to remember that. All right, so rise is how far it goes vertically between 2 points. And run is how far it goes horizontally between those 2 points. All right, so let's just take a look at some examples from some tables. We're going to determine whether the rates of change are constant or variable. So change in y, so they've already determined what's happening here. So it's going up by 2, then 4 again, and then 6. So they've already written that down there. We just have to take the change in y and divide it by that change in x that happens at that same point. So 2 over 1. Then 4 over 2. Then 4 over 2 again. And 6 over 3. And we have to see, do those stay the same or do they change? So let's just simplify those fractions. So 2 over 1 is equal to 2. 4 over 2 is equal to 2. 4 over 2 is still equal to 2. And then 6 over 3 is also equal to 2. So let's put that these were constant rates of change. They stay the same. So even though the numbers looked a little different, the rate of how they changed stayed the same. Determine whether the rates of change are constant or variable for number 2. So again, they have already picked out what's happening on the y and the x just to save some time. So we have 2 is how much the y increased by, divided by 2, which is how much the x increased by. And then they have 4, which is the change in y, over 1, the change in x. 0 divided by 2, and 3 divided by 3. So 2 divided by 2 is 1. 4 divided by 1 is 4. 0 divided by 2 would be 0, and then 3 divided by 3 would be 1. So notice these numbers are not the same, so we would just say that this data set has variable rates of change. Number 3, we're just going to do the same thing again. So let's do change in y over change in x and see if it stays the same or if it changes. So 2 over 1, 2 over 1, 2 over 1, so we can see those are the same, but then the last one is 4 over 1. So even though 3 out of 4 are the same, the last one was different, so these are variable. Okay, and then the last example, we're just going to do the same thing again. So change in y over change in x. So 2 over 1, 6 over 3, 4 over 2, and 6 over 3. So 2 over 1 is 2. 6 over 3, or 6 divided by 3, is equal to 2. 4 divided by 2 is 2. And 6 divided by 3 is 2. So these stayed the same in this example. So this has a constant rate of change. All right. So that's it for just figuring out if the rate of change is constant or variable within a table of values.